Wicked. All right, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Closing the gap, creating financial sovereignty, learning how to be fully on purpose. What I hear the most from so many people that I come into connection with is I don't know what my purpose is, or I know what my purpose is, but I don't have enough time and money to really live solidly on that path. I'm Ange and I have been super excited over the last 6 months to be around some of the most purpose-driven humans I have ever met. Hundreds and thousands of incredible humans that spend every single day living fully in purpose and having the time and the money to do so. I've got four of my favorite people on this call today, and they're kind of going to fly in at all different times and drop some heat on us, some passion on us, some love on us, some heart on us. And they're all flying off to Vegas, and some of them are from all over different parts of America and the world. And their stories are phenomenal, and what has led them to be CEOs, presidents, and community members in some phenomenal projects that are absolutely changing not only our lives in first world Western countries, so we have the time and the financial means to really roll up our sleeves and create change and live on purpose and make choices that we have sometimes been a bit restricted in making because of those resources. But these humans have created ways through their own journeys to really give us choice. And when I say that, I know that we are living in a society right now, no matter where you are on the world in the world, and I know we've got people registered here from all over. What I know is where you buy your food from, where you make your money from, where you spend your money, what you are supporting in your technology, in your purchases, we're all supporting either a problem or a solution on a level. And it brings me to my knees when I think about a simple device like our phones and laptops. And then when I heard about the project that Scott's heading up, and I watched Jungle Gold, and him and his mate George, showed me elements of what I'm participating in. And I really want you to reflect on that word, what I'm participating in that I was completely unaware of, slave labor, children out in the workforce, in the mining industry, all the things. So Scotty, I'm not going to give you an introduction because I have already introduced you extensively to this crew, so they can go back and read a bit about you. I'm going to leave this with you. I know I've given you a bit of a brief, and I'm going to let fully freestyle here, but tell me what keeps you up at night and why this project we should all be involved in, and how. You've got the questions. I'm going to let you fully take the mic and freestyle, bro.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been quite a journey that I've been on over the past 10, 15 years. It started when I found myself having some financial difficulties when the real estate market out here in the United States crashed. And that led me on this wild, weird, eye-opening journey for the past several years of what's actually happening in the world. This journey for me started off with how do I take care of myself and my family and my kids? And I created this romanticized, fantasized version of me being this hero, willing to go out to the wilds of Africa to put up with all the dangers and all the things that are happening so that I can take care of my family. Yet while I was there, I came to the realization that the problems I was having, the problems that I was going through were nothing compared to the suffering that happens in the world every day so that we can live the types of lives that we live. And through that journey of mine, it's come kind of full circle. It started off with, let's get out there and do whatever it takes to gold mine. Let's use the people and build this narrative around what we're doing, this hero's journey, when in reality, I was part of the problem. I was part of the destruction and all the bad things that happened or that were happening in the world under this false narrative that I was there to save the day. And do you mind if I share my screen? Do I have the ability to do that, or I don't need
You
to if you don't?
absolutely do.
Okay. So let me go ahead and just share this. And so I was able through years of experience. And the funny thing is while I was out there in Ghana, it took me a long time, and I had the unique maybe pleasure or displeasure of having this whole experiment that I was doing be televised. And I started having my eyes opened when the show would air. And then I get on Twitter because Discovery Channel wanted us to live tweet. And all of a sudden, people all around the world are calling me a douchebag and calling me a colonialist and calling me an exploiter of land and people. And I was genuinely shocked by these accusations, because when we showed up in Ghana, most people welcomed us. They rolled out the red carpet. They would sacrifice animals and put on big presentations and put on a feast for our arrival, because they wanted our money and our ability to come and extract the gold, because it meant more money for them. I literally thought I was this hero, this conquering hero going into these areas, because the locals welcomed us with open arms. The government let us walk right in. We got whatever we wanted. There was nothing to stop us. There were no barriers other than, if you had enough money, you could get in there and do what you want. But what I saw when I got out there was shocking. This image that you're looking at right here is not a gold mine, but this is a cobalt mine in a different country, the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And what you are seeing here, the sea of humanity, if you look all the way up toward the screen, there are thousands and thousands of people in this mine, many of them children, all mining so that we can have technology. This cobalt mine is, and most of the cobalt comes from the Congo. And what I was doing in Ghana with all the gold, because a big chunk of the world's population, the problems happening in the Congo, the problems happening in Ghana, the problems happening in Central America, South Africa are all the same. There are millions of people being exploited by the Western world so that we can have technology. And so I unfortunately found out all this, because I was on TV, my eyes started to be open, because when you get in there, you just think, hey, this is great. I'm here to take advantage, or here to help support my own family. And then because of the exposure that I had on TV, it's done two things. Number one, it gave me a platform. But number two, it gave me reality. It gave me reality from the outside perspective, from people who'd had nothing to gain from the people of Africa. They helped me to recalibrate my thinking and why I was there. But while I was there, I saw unthinkable things. The amount of environmental destruction makes your stomach turn. The incredibly bad working conditions, the child exploitation and the enslaved labor. All of these things were there in abundance, and I was part of it. I was the guy that went into the city to buy the mercury, because the locals said, hey, mining is a lot easier with mercury and it's a lot less expensive. I was the one who hired anyone in the village who would come and work for me. I was the one who watched the destruction of the environment. And all of these things happened under my watch. What you're looking at right here, these are gold mines. Everything you see in brown used to be lush vegetation with green forest, but these are all gold mines, and 100% of these mines are illegal. These are illegal mines that were dug by either locals or with Chinese money. They came in and they just destroyed it. Now, many of these gold mines, each hole is a gold mine. You just dig down, remove the overburden, get to the gravel and process it and extract the gold. Not one of these holes has been filled in. These holes have been there for years, 20 years, 30 years, and they're not filled in. And when they're not filled in, the locals can't regrow their cocoa plantations. The locals can't move back, because they used to have their villages here next to these gold mines. This next picture here, you can see there's a road there. There's 3 little villages. The one in the middle is where I used to live. Some of the area here, this is where I used to work. Now, of course, you can see from the show, we would fill in our pits and our holes, but 99.9% of all the people, the illegal Chinese miners, they do not fill in the hole. So when they come in there, they destroy their plantations of cocoa, they destroy the environment, they destroy the rivers. These rivers are filled with mercury and fuel and arsenic and everything else that's used in the mining world. Now, our mission at Element is to transform mines around the world into crypto solutions. And that sounds pretty vague, but we have a real purpose here on how we can use technology to solve some of these problems. Now, here's the sad truth. Every one of us is part of the problem. I spend most of my day shouting from the rooftop that there is a massive problem in the world because most people don't know what's happening in the mining world. They don't know what the bottom of the supply chain looks like for their electric vehicle, for their phone, for their computer. They don't know what their phone contains, that it takes 6 continents, 8 to 16 rare earth minerals, 4 to 5 conflict minerals, and 60 to 70 different element compounds. Every one of these things has to be mined from the earth, and somebody is paying the price. The environment, the families, the rivers, everybody's paying a price so that we can have this technology. So my message to the world is there's a massive problem out there, and we're trying to shine a light on the world. Number two, we are all part of that problem. Every one of us who buys these consumer electronics without demanding certain things, we are part of the problem. The amount of cobalt that is needed just for us to have smartphones and electric vehicles is shocking, and it all comes from the same place, most of it being mined in dangerous conditions by children. Gold, about 30% of all the gold in the world that's mined is mined illegally. And these are the pits that I spent years in West Africa and in South America. I was there part of the problem. But the good news is if we come together at this wonderful time in our earth where we have the technology that allows us to do something about it, we can be a part of the solution. And better yet, we can be rewarded for being a part of the solution. So again, there's a massive problem. We're all part of it, but we can all come together and be a part of the solution. And the reason we can do that is because of technology. The technology that's been invented with the blockchain, you all know what blockchain is, allows individuals to be a part of the solution. It allows us to do something about it. I think all of us for ages and ages, we've all thought, man, I wish there was something I could do about that, but I can't. That's the responsibility of big business. That's the responsibility of foreign governments. That's the responsibility of someone else. Blockchain technology changes that and allows us to participate in being a part of the solution, and with the added bonus of being rewarded, incentivized, compensated for being a part of the solution. So the solution is the blockchain, and I'm not going to spend any time talking about the blockchain or what it does. I'm confident you're all familiar with that. But what that does do, it allows us to create products that are hosted on the blockchain that solve problems. And so we have many products. We're working on many more. The 4 that you guys are probably the most familiar with on the left, the ethical mining certification. It's an NFT where gold mines make certain commitments. Fair wages, no child labor, environmental sustainability practices, to have their permits and licenses. And all that metadata is housed in an NFT that the world can see. So they can know that the source of their gold or tantalum, tungsten, cobalt was ethical, that it was mined sustainably. And this is what people are demanding. The world now is demanding that we know the source of all these things that are mined, and blockchain technology and the awareness that we all have when we come together as a tribe, we can demand that change. You guys all know what happened to blood diamonds 20 years ago. All the celebrities, everybody on earth said, I don't want a blood diamond. I just found out that diamonds are mined by children at gunpoint, and it's a blood diamond. And guess what? Because we as consumers demanded that we would not buy a blood diamond, it changed. Now it's a flawed system. It's a paper process called the Kimberley process, to where they have to have the origin of the blood diamond. But think about how much more effective that system would be if it was on the blockchain, and if it applied to all things mined, not just diamonds. That's what Element United is. We have a carbon credit marketplace so that we can repair the damage that's been done, so that we can help companies that are trying to mine sustainably have a way to offset their carbon footprint. We also have the eVault that tracks the origin of where all these elements go once it hits the supply chain. And you can even NFT your own jewelry. And then we even make it fun and we gamify gold mining. So again, all of these products that you're seeing here, the eVault, the carbon credits, these are all things that we as individuals can support by being a part of a blockchain. And so the carbon offsets, we're doing great things. We have great projects that we're doing on old gold mines. Gold mines that are sitting there rotting and putting off chemicals we can create carbon credits off of these old gold mines and sell those carbon credits on the blockchain to other gold mines that want to mine. We can also take responsibility. we can now do our own personal carbon offsets. We can offset our own carbon footprint by a monthly subscription with Element, to where you're buying carbon credits and you're getting tokens. You're getting the Element token every time you pay your small monthly fee. That's personal responsibility. These are things that we can do. We're creating carbon credits on old mines that you can now buy individually. Don't have to wait for some big business to buy carbon credits. And every time you buy, you get rewarded with the Element token. And so we're trying to have real impact. And so what we've come up with, some of you guys know this, many of you guys have already bought the bracelets. We've come up with the bracelet program that has direct impact. And so what this is, these bracelets here are manufactured in Ghana in mining villages with families who want other forms of income rather than being forced into the mines with their kids. Now, Paul and I are heading out to Ghana, and we are going to take all the beads and all the supplies. They're going to now construct in the village that I worked in, the village of Domanasi, that's a mining town. We're going to try to convert that town, not into a mining town, but into a sustainability town, to where they make these bracelets and we'll pay them enough money so that they can feed their families without sending them into the mines. And then the other half, so half of the money goes to those who are constructing the bracelets and to the cost of the bracelet. The other half of the money goes to filling in these holes that I just showed you. So you can have direct impact. Element United makes zero money off these bracelets. They're $50, and it has direct impact. Every dime goes to either the cost of the beads or to supporting the families, and then the rest of it goes right to offsetting and filling in these old mining pits so that they can regrow their plantations of cocoa and have a real sustainable income again. And
hey, Scotty, just some context. We've got 78 people on this call. If every single person bought a bracelet, say for a Christmas gift, what sort of impact would that make?
Incredible impact. You know, the exchange rate right now in Ghana is 12 Ghana cedis, which is their currency, to $1. And so if everybody on here bought a bracelet that was $50, about let's just say $25 of that times 75, that will go toward filling in these holes. It's just fuel to rent a dozer to push in all the dirt. The rest of it, though, is going to buy the bracelets. And again, we're sourcing these very inexpensively. And then the rest of it goes to these families. They will make so much more money putting these bracelets together than they do off of mining. One bracelet program with just a few hundred people can support an entire village. Now, here's the beautiful thing about that.
Say that again, Scotty. Say that again.
We can support, just with a few of us, this tribe that we're putting together here, we can support a village fully. We can eliminate them having to send their kids into the mines, and we can financially support a village with just a few of us. But it has to grow. Wow. These are one-time purchases. So then how do we share the message? Well, on the other side of that bead that says offset is a QR code. And that QR code allows you flip the bead over. Let's see if I have a picture of one. I don't, but actually, do you see in the box there, you can see where it says offset. Look on the top side of that bead, you can kind of see the outline of the QR code. That QR code allows you to share with others. All they do is they take out their phone, they scan the QR code, it takes them right to offsetbracelet.com, where they can now buy a bracelet, and then you get rewarded for it. So when they put in your name, we're going to send you some Element tokens. We're going to send them some Element tokens, and that money goes then to support these villages. That's the direct impact that we're trying to have. The blockchain and the products that we build are trying to solve the problems at a higher level. When you have to be EMC, Element Ethical Mining certified, we hope that that eliminates all the illegal bad guys, that only people who are ethical mining certified now can sell their gold downstream to their buyers. This exact same thing that happened with blood diamonds. All the blood diamond people are gone. Why? Because there's no market for them now. We're trying to do the same thing in the gold mining industry and in every other industry. You must be certified with this NFT. Those are the products that the Element blockchain can solve. But the direct impact, we're going to do this Element. We've already got enough supplies to make a few thousand of these bracelets. And we're going to go there and film and show you the families who are putting these bracelets together, show you the impact, and show you that dirt going right back into those holes. So those are, and again, the blockchain, because of the design of the blockchain, we can eliminate all the bad things that are happening by making the bad guys not be able to sell their goods. But you can also have a direct impact by participating in what we're doing. And so again, we have mining partners. We have so many. We're meeting with a guy here in an hour who has 87 mines, and he wants to do things with his mines. He wants to create carbon credits. He wants to certify all these mines. Our impact globally is about to take off. We are on the verge of doing some very, very huge things where we're creating carbon credits. We're keeping mines that don't have, that don't want to mine. We're enabling them to create revenue off of in-ground assets. The things that we're doing on the Element blockchain are phenomenal. We've met with government leaders all over the world. We've met with, this is the Tanzania mine. These are two of our guys, David and Chris, that went out there last year. And they met with Jay, who's in the middle there, the second from the left. We're doing carbon credits. We're doing gamification. You can see their workers. They've all got their Element swag. And that they were actually our first mining partner. And we're about to add 87 more mines in about an hour here. So wonderful things that we're doing in the mining industry having real impact. So again, the products that we build on the blockchain are supported by your nodes, but we also wanted to add that extra little direct impact with our bracelet program. And so, but again, it takes all of us. The problems that we're trying to solve, it might sound like we're trying to boil the ocean, but it's not. The technology that exists now allows us and this tribe that we're building to have a massive, massive impact. And so that's the beauty of technology. Everything's about timing. And the timing is now here to where the consumers are demanding to know the origin of things that come out of the ground so that they don't drive around in a Tesla thinking that they are encouraging child labor. And the technology to allow us to participate all have happened and they've converged right now. So we're very excited about what we're working on. And again, Element United, we build the products. You guys are the blockchain. You get the rewards for being a part of the solution. We've got token utility. There are things you can get on and buy with the token right now. And that's what we're trying to do. It takes all of us, guys. But guess what? The tools now exist for all of us to have impact, for all of us to be able to make a difference. And so the problems are big. And we're going to be sending out a steady stream of information to guilt the world and to letting them know that when you have this phone, when you are consuming these electronics, somebody's paying the price. And it's so important that we understand there is a bottom of the supply chain for all of these things. Someone's paying the price, and we should all contribute to being a part of the solution.
Yeah, well, oh, okay. Hit me up in the chat thread, guys. Who really feels this? Who's going to buy a bracelet? I was saying to Scotty yesterday when we chatted, I imagine a shifting culture. Like, does anyone remember when you could buy a certificate to adopt a donkey? Like, that was like a mad trend years ago. I said to Scotty, I imagine Christmas this year and I can feel the emotion. We all buy a beautifully packaged, we've got, Secret Santas, we've got, $50 gifts for our family, and we educate our family where this comes from. We sit around at Christmas time, we put on our laptop or our smart TV and we play Scotty's video and we show them where these bracelets are coming from. And I'm sure there's so much that we can use to educate. And I'm like, what if every single person, we've got 81 people on this call now, if everyone bought their family, their kids, one of these gorgeous bracelets with so much heart? Like, I'm hearing Scotty say this changes villages. I have two quick questions before we get Faith to start to speak and drop us in even more. Who's feeling some emotion on this call? Scotty, you spoke a lot about Ghana. A lot of us are here over in the land down under in Australia, and we're a gold mining country, right? Like, we've been doing that stuff forever. This is happening all over the world. This isn't just exclusive to third world countries, right? We've got this happening on our doorstep.
Yeah, it's worldwide, and we have been contacted by mines all over the world. Some countries are a little bit more responsible than others. And Australia, United States tend to, because they're bigger companies that have a lot to lose if they do something stupid like put children in the mines. And so there are hotspots in the world. West Africa and Central and South America are the hotspots, like Peru, where the villagers are being absolutely exploited. But We want every mine on planet Earth, including every mine in Australia, every mine in the United States, to be ethical mining certified on the Element blockchain. So we need, if you have relationships with mines, if you know anybody in the mining industry, let me know. We would love to come in. We can also help create carbon credits on these mines. We can do some gamification on these mines. We can do a lot of things. The pitch that I give to a mine is, what if you could make a lot of money, maybe even more money, by not mining than if you were to mine it? And they all go, let me know. There are many mines out there running Element nodes. And they're running the Element nodes because they are running the node instead of mining. And they're going to keep the gold in the ground until we figure out what else we can do with them. But there's a lot of mines out there that have got tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of these Element tokens, because we're able to incentivize them to stop the mining. Now, you wait until this takes hold out in Ghana. We've already met with government officials all over Tanzania, Kenya, Ghana, and they love what we're doing. And so it's a matter of, and sometimes, just to be clear, sometimes you have to incentivize the government to not allow these things to happen. They're all being paid off. You guys should all go read a book called Cobalt Red that talks about the government corruption in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and how the government corruption is what's enabling the illegal mining or the destructive cobalt mining. That happens everywhere. So if I can walk into a government official and say, hey, there's 100 Element nodes here that will kick you out tokens every single day that may in the future, have some value. What if we can incentivize you to do the right thing? And that works. Now you're speaking their language. And so it has to start, but now the incentive that's built into the blockchain is good for you. It's good for us from a negotiating standpoint to help everybody become ethical mining certified.
Yeah, wicked. And so one last question is, who do we need and what can we do? Not everyone has a lot of money to buy nodes and move in from that perspective. But what I'm hearing you say, Scott, is like all of the projects in the Connect space, there's boots on the ground, there's, sweat equity we can put in. I know we're going to hear from Will Taylor. I know we're launching grow farms here in Australia, and it's taken for us to speak to our farming community. What can we do for Element that doesn't require finances? I'm thinking if everybody had a Connect account and opened up a wallet, if everyone followed the social media, we might get the ladies to drop the social media links in. I'm thinking of tangible things. You just said if we've got any mining connections, I think we might have another whole call with just you on for anyone that's interested in just this space. But what can we do that's taking up time and energy for people that don't necessarily have the cash to support, but have the time and the passion?
Yeah, every mine that we're working with has come from somebody in our community. Somebody has called and said, hey, I know this mine that's doing XYZ. Why don't you call them? And so the mines that we're already under contract with came from you guys. The mines that we're working with in the future are coming from you guys. Anything that you can do to help, and again, following the social media, retweeting what we tweet out, because again, message number one is let the world know there's a problem. And we would be happy to come up with all kinds of incentives for you guys. If you retweet something, maybe we'll give you some Element tokens. If you bring us a relationship, we'll pay you nodes and tokens. We will come up with an incentive program that helps all of you, because it does take all of us to get the word out there, but we'll make it worth your time. That's the beauty of the blockchain, and we will reward good actions, whether you have a node or not. We'd be happy to put something together. Maybe we'll come back when we come back, just Element on here where we can talk about those specific things. We'll have some real solutions. If you have someone scan your code right now on your bracelet, we pay you Element. So we'll expand that to all of you. That is the best way, is to buy a bracelet so that you then qualify for sharing it. But we'll come up with some other things for you, because we understand that not everybody can afford a node. Not everybody can, we're coming into the holidays, things are expensive, but we have these tokens and we will use them to incentivize you to help out our cause, because it is a worthy and a noble cause, just like the Grow cause. I think what we're doing is pretty in line with what Grow's doing. Grow's has a little bit more direct impact because it's food and it's something you consume every day, which is why we love their program. But we'll make it worth your time to get involved. We'll come up with something for your team.
I love it. Hey, thanks so much, bro. We're going to head to Faith Thurston. I love you so much. We'll
Thanks,
get you on
guys.
to a whole
Appreciate
nother
you.
call. Big
Okay,
shout out
thanks.
to Scott Lomu, guys. Hit him up in the chat thread. It's always nice to see who this is really hitting. Faith, have we got you on, honey?
Yes. 1 second, just fixing my
Yay.
Wi-Fi.
Oh, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry, I just was getting my Wi-Fi all situated.
I love it.
I'm
Thanks
so
for
excited to
jumping
speak to
on in your
everyone.
busy schedule. We love having you here. So, Faith, I'm not going to give you a massive introduction. I've done a lot of marketing about you. I've got your bio up. We've got videos up. The team have done a big job of making people on this call. We've got 82 people live on this call and loads of replays going out. So you've got the brief. What keeps you up at night? How is this mission that Give is deeply in your heart? Give us, drop some emotions, drop the raw reality of what's going on and why you're so fired up about this project.
Yeah, I actually have a presentation. Do you want me to share that first or?
Go for it. All
Okay.
up to you. Freestyle it.
Hey, cool guys. I'm so excited to speak to all of you, and this is going to be so much fun. I am a fast talker, so can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we're
Okay.
prepared to listen quick.
I'm a fast talker, so if I'm too fast, hop on and tell me to slow down. So this is called the Give blockchain, but we are referred to as Lemonade. Lemonade is our company name. Give is the blockchain part, which I will go into depth about. My name's Faith. I have been doing Give for over 4 years now, but I've been in the humanitarian space since I was 14 years old. My first thing I did was when I was 16, I went to Fiji on a humanitarian trip in Thailand and then found my love from there. I feel like in this field, I consider myself an expert. I've seen a lot of the world and I've seen and been through a lot of things that a lot of people haven't seen yet. So along the way, if you have any questions, feel free to drop questions about anything that I've done. Okay, so what is the issue with giving? Most of the time when we talk about giving is something that everyone wants to participate in. It's super fun. It's something exciting, but most of the time we don't do it. As a reality, people will get really excited and say, you know what, I want to help out with that. I want to help out with that, but I can't, or I don't trust it, or I don't know if my money is going to go here, or, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And the problem with giving is it isn't super instant, and there's not a lot of transparency when it comes to it. So there are over 1.5 million charities in the United States and all over the world. This includes all these charities to fall under a category of 10, including medical, food, human trafficking, animals, homelessness, poverty. There are so many different charities that go along the way with what we're going to talk about, but out of that 1.5, they all fall into one of the 10. If you have a favorite right now that you can think of, put it in the chat so I can also look at this after, just to know what we're expanding on. So what is a solution? A solution that we came up with using blockchain technology is that we need everyone's help in the world to start being held accountable for their charities and where their donations are going and how it's making a difference. And so what Give is it's a platform where people can register their charities. We fully do a full background check using AI and seeing how their charity is used and what they use the money for. I don't know if any of you are aware, but most charities in the United States, they only use 75% of their funds, and the other 25% of their funds go to their different things, paying their staff, paying themselves. And then as well, the Red Cross, actually, they only use 25% of their funds, and the other 80% actually goes to their Overcome. And so a lot of these charities that you are probably participating in most likely aren't being 100% transparent with you of where their money's going. So what Give does is it tracks it using AI. We have platforms on there, and then you as a user can go on and donate and then get rewarded with the Give token, which then, or Give reward. And using that Give reward, you can go on later in the future and purchase a trip to your favorite humanitarian spot that you've always wanted to see, like how Scott just talked about going to Ghana. You could use that to actually go to Ghana and see the kids that are mining, and go to Tanzania and see the kids that are in the orphanage that we help, or go to Nepal and see the girls that we've rescued. So you can actually use these tokens to make a difference, or you can even send them to your neighbor and say, hey, you know what? I felt like giving this to you today, and you can use this to give it to someone else and do a lasting effect. Lemonade wants to build a community of people using the blockchain. So like I explained, the blockchain is going to help this solution. And the only reason we're going to be able to use this blockchain is if we have a community of people. I want this to be worldwide. We already have over thousands of users. I would love to expand that to hundreds of thousands, to then millions of users, because this could make such a huge impact, a big enough impact where we could end world hunger, we could end human trafficking, we could end the povertiness of homes, we could end shelters. I really have a future one time to end foster care enough where we have enough homes for kids all over the world where they have a safe place to live. I know that there's over 80 of you on this call. How do you become a part of this? I don't know if you've heard from Ange earlier about what nodes are, but nodes are something that gives you a chance to be a part and own part of this blockchain. You are a part owner, and you can make decisions on where the money is going, what charity needs to show their finances that month, what projects the Connect community thinks is important right now. You know, you're owning something, you're taking responsibility for it, you're nurturing it, you're taking care of it. And so with all of you, that's kind of what the big part of being about Give is you get to make the opportunities and decisions of where the money for these projects are going. Impact, we have had outstanding impact. This is actually an old report from last year, so I can go on over this, but we actually sent money to Afghanistan in 2021, and we were able to help 2,000 people when the Afghanistan war was happening, and in Ukraine. We have had over 1,800 wells drilled in Africa. We have saved over 2,000 girls from FGM, which is in Africa, which Scott is also probably aware of in Ghana. It's a thing where girls are at a young age euthanized with their parts. And so we've actually saved over 2,000 girls doing that and have a safe home and shelter for them. We've actually rescued now over 3,500 children. And I just went to the Free a Girl event in New York last weekend, and now it's getting over to 6,000 this year based off everyone's donations, which is amazing because it just keeps doubling every single year. We just built an orphanage in Africa that is going to house over 27 little boys, and then it has over 200 children in the orphanage, but the sleeping part of it houses over 27 people. And yeah, we have thousands of node owners, and we are just constantly doing stuff every single day. This is our orphanage. It's actually finished now. This is a part of when they were building it, and all the little children, I don't know if you can see, they're adorable. This is when they got their well for their fresh water. If you're curious on how to donate right now and how to look at what we're doing and how to use it, and just a simple way to start joining the blockchain and share it with your friends, is you want to go on our website, lemonade.co. You can click on donate now, and you can actually see the charity that you're donating to. And these are very vague right now: classes, supplies, child rescue therapy, school supplies. But you can go over this little I, and it will actually tell you exactly where it's going. And then at the end of it, at the end of it, it will take you to a map of exactly where that is being tracked, and it's on the blockchain, so you can actually see the transaction going from that charity to another and what they use it for. This is some of our other projects that we did this year. This is food, the work coop, the kids again, dentist work. This is just some of the stuff that we did last October. What you can do now and involve your friends with, if this is something that you're interested in and just want to take a look at something that's easy to get into. This is my favorite thing to promote. It's called the Red Commerce Challenge. And how it started is when I went on my third humanitarian trip, I was going into a store, and a little boy had asked me if I wanted to buy anything off of his cart. And I looked down at his shoes, and he had literally cardboard strapped shoes on the bottom of his feet. And I was wearing these bright red new Converse I had bought for the trip. And something in my heart just told me that I needed to take them off. And so I had asked him if he wanted my shoes, and when I took them off, they actually fit him perfectly. It was a perfect match. And his smile on his face was so incredibly huge, and he was so excited that after that, I just realized I didn't need anything, and I wanted to dedicate my life to giving everything else away. And so this year, we actually made these NFTs that you can scan that code, They start at, I think, $100. No, 50. I'd have to look back. But there's a couple different options that you can do. The highest actually is 10,000, and you get a bunch of shoes to donate, and you get to go on a trip to Africa. And it's an NFT that you can track and keep and show your kids forever. But we've already donated over 2,000 pairs of shoes since April, since doing this, and we are continuing to do it still. So if you're interested in this, scan this code, and I think that this is the easiest way to get into blockchain and hold an NFT. This is our website if you don't know how to spell it. And then just something fun. We did this on Friday for people that are interested in community projects around your area. We actually got a group of college kids and wrapped a bunch of presents for elderly people, and we were able to get over 200 items donated and help over 60 elderly people. And it was really, really fun and rewarding and just amazing. We weren't allowed to take pictures of the elderly people for HIPAA reasons, but it was just insane. So that is some of the stuff we're working on. And then I have, Ange, do you care if I show one video of Free a Girl just to go into depth of, oh wait, I can't hear you, you're on mute.
Yeah, go for it. A lot of the people here have been really drawn to this space through the human trafficking need. So yeah, drop us in hard around what Free a Girl is doing. I read something on your socials that you guys rescued a 5-year-old who was being raped 9 times a day. Crushed my heart. And yeah, I'm going to ask you some questions after we watch this video.
Yeah, so just a little bit of context with this. We've been working with Free a Girl since 2018. We've donated millions and millions of dollars. This is probably and they love it. Imagine your favorite charity accepting crypto and being rewarded millions and millions of dollars and being able to do more than they've ever been able to do. That's kind of what we've been doing for Free a Girl for the last couple of years, and it's really changed our life. And when I was in New York, I was really impacted again. I've been to 5 of their events, but this one was impactful because I got to see how much they've actually done. And this is one of my favorite videos that they have to explain who they are as a company, what they do, and what they're fighting for. And so if you just want to think in your head, number 6,000 is what we're getting to with our rescues at the end of this year. And these girls, and think about how many girls that is and how there's over 2 million children still in human trafficking. And this will end if we spread this mission and keep the donations coming for them. So let me just.
Did you just say we have the potential to end this?
Sorry, Ange, go again.
Did you just say, did I just hear you say, Faith, that we as a community, this like 80 odd people, 147 people registered for this call. Did you just say that we as a community have the potential to help end human trafficking?
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, there's 2 million children in human trafficking, and it's $1,000 per child to be rescued. That's $2 billion. If in the whole state or the whole country of Australia, there's over 1 billion people. So if you got the whole country of Australia plus the United States plus people in Europe and Bangladesh and everywhere, for sure 100% we could end this, which is just amazing and incredible. And that's why I want to spread this mission as much as possible. And I know Free Girl wants to spread it too. So
hey, on your screen share, there's a video of me covering.
Okay. Let's see if I can get rid of it.
Great, you got rid of me. Or maybe you didn't. No, you didn't.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. Can you hear that? If I
Yep.
Okay, cool.
যখন আমার 9 বছর তখন আমাকে সোনাগাছিতে বিক্রি করে দিয়েছিল। আর আমার উপরে খুব অত্যাচারও করেছিল। যারা আমার সাথে এমনি করেছে তারা স্বাধীনভাবে থাকছে আর আমি স্বাধীনভাবে থাকতে পারছি না ওদের জন্য। मुझे क्या बेच दिया था।
me trocava, dizia para os traficantes que se eles dessem pedra a ela,
He told me, if you don't let me have sex with you, I'm going to sell you again.
जो काम करती थी ना वो काउंटर में जमा होती थी
लड़के भी उससे ज्यादा जिम्मेदार है रेप के लिए ये लड़के हैं उससे ज्यादा
India telt 1,2 miljoen kinderprostituees. 400.000 daarvan zitten hier. En bijna de helft is tussen de 11 en 14 jaar oud. En die meisjes bevinden zich in gebouwen zoals deze hierachter. En de politie die hen kan bevrijden weet waar ze zitten, maar doet dat alleen op aandringen van externe organisaties zoals Free a Girl.
room over there. Okay, and he kept one girl, minor girl. उनकी जो ब्रॉथल है जब एंटर करते हैं डोर से अंदर तो वहाँ पे सिटिंग रूम आता है उसके बाद में वुडन कैबिन्स आती है लड़की सिलेक्ट करने के बाद जो 4x6 की जो छोटी छोटी कैबिनें रहती है उसमें पलंग रहता है छोटा सा
अन्थ्यो निकाल्ने थिएन त्यहाँबाट मलाई माथि माथि भित्र लुकाइदिन्थ्यो त्यहाँबाट निकाल्ने थिएन हामीलाई अनि पुलिसहरू आएर पैसा खाएर जान्थ्यो फेरि
मलाई राम्रो लाग्छ कि उनीहरूले गर्दा कि म यति ठुलो भइसक्यो अनि आफूले अलिक गर्न सक्नु भयो
अच्छे से यहाँ के मैडम लोग अच्छे तो हम लोग भी अच्छे से ही रहते हैं हम लोग यहाँ पे क्लास करते हैं क्लास पार्लर क्लास मैं मेरी छोटी बहन के लिए ऐसा चाहती हूँ कि जो मैं रेस्क्यू फाउंडेशन में थोड़ा सीख रही हूँ वो आगे जाके कुछ काम में लगाऊँ और मेरे भाई बहन लोग को मैं थोड़ा पढ़ा कि जो ज़िंदगी मैंने गुजारी है अभी इतने टाइम तक वो ज़िंदगी मैं इन लोग को नहीं गुजारने दूँगी अभी
We zijn hier nu bij een van de checkpoints tussen Nepal en India. Hier worden jaarlijks duizenden meisjes getrafficked en die komen dan in de gedwongen seksindustrie terecht. Wat zo bijzonder is, dat wij hier nu posten hebben gecreëerd en die checken al het vrachtverkeer, de bussen, of dat er jonge meisjes verstopt zitten die ze gaan verhandelen.
पढाइदिन्छ फेरि तर तिनीहरूले सजाय दिनुपर्छ तर छोड्नु हुँदैन तिनीहरूले सजाय गर्नुपर्छ
For years, the men that visited and raped these girls could walk away unpunished. That is about to change. Free a Girl movement started the School for Justice. A school where rescued girls are educated to become the best lawyers and prosecutors in the country. To put everyone involved in child prostitution behind bars. And believe us, they are passionate to do so.
যারা আমার প্রতি অত্যাচার করেছে আমি তাদের শাস্তি চাই
আমি এই পাচারের বিরুদ্ধে লড়তে চাই
আমি বিচার চাই
Oh. Oh.
Guys, that video is my favorite. It's so good and chilling. Just want to wrap up by saying we also have dedicated money to 3 school of justice and helped actually build one in Brazil and now they're working on one in Ecuador and now they want to do one in America. So everything that is in this community is real and we have helped so many of these girls and it's something that I'm the most passionate about and all the children that we help and I'm really excited to see this blow up because I know it's going to and I have full confidence and the last couple weeks seeing the blockchain get bigger and bigger and bigger and blow up it's just making my heart so happy because the amount of people that we're going to be able to help with this and it's just the beginning. There's nothing like Scott said. We are the very beginning, just like the internet. And if you're curious about it, send me a message. I'll send you movies and movies about why the blockchain is so incredible, why it's so helpful, why it's so transparent. And Give is one of those reasons and these girls. So
yeah,
that access to that video, by the way, everyone in the chat, it is on YouTube under Free a Girl. I'll actually just put the link in the chat right now. So if you have any questions, Ange.
Faith, you know, I love you so much. One of my favorite humans. And I just, from all the way across the waters, I feel our sisterhood and just the connection. So a couple of things, same questions I asked Scotty. A lot of us here are from Australia. like child trafficking, human trafficking isn't just in India and third world countries, right? It is happening on everybody's doorsteps, which is crazy. And I want to know from you again, for people who don't have the money to go buy a node right now, how can we support Give, Lemonade, Free a Girl, Roam, all the incredible charities? How can we support you with sweat equity? I know this warrants a whole nother call with you, just, about Give as a blockchain project. I'm hearing things like my daughter is, wanting a call with you to talk about some animal rescue spaces. My understanding, and clarify this for everybody watching, is that by getting the word out about getting charities onto the blockchain with Give and with you, potentially we could have a whole nother call to educate people that have charities and how to get involved, right? Tell us how with our blood, sweat, tears, we can get involved and our kids can get involved.
That's a great question. So there's a lot that you can do right now. I would say the first one is just if you want to try it out, buy all of our NFTs. You can buy them for Christmas. Connect has a bunch of them to start it out, and then or Give and Get that I partner with. To get like physically involved, we could arrange a community project just like I did last weekend there. So like something that's really easy. If you wanted to get involved with animals, I could reach out to an animal sanctuary there, tell them what we're about, get a community of people started, and then what we'd have to do from there, just to be super transparent with everyone, our tech side right now isn't as strong because we didn't have enough community members, and so right now we're waiting to build more and more community members so that we have an awesome AI, because we have the technology built and everything. We just need people to run and help sustain it, and so that's what we're waiting for now, is more people to join so that then we can plug together all these charities, use our technology, and then just kick ass.
Yeah, amazing. We love you so much. We will definitely have you back on another call, and I've got everybody's email address, so we're going to email out loads of information. If there's anything that you want these guys to have, we can connect and send them links and all sorts of things.
And if anyone wants to, Roam does so many projects, like trips. So you can go to Africa, you can go to Nepal to see the girls I just showed. You can meet them personally, actually. You can go to Bali, you can do Fiji, you can do Peru. They have Brazil, they have so many. If you guys want to get involved in what Lemonade is and see the projects in person, that I would recommend doing the Tanzania trip in Africa to see the orphanage that we physically built. And I would love to put together a trip too, with people on this call. If anyone wanted to go, that would be amazing because they could set it up.
A lot of people on this call know that I ran a life school community, and I just imagine a world where kids don't go to institutionalized school and we tag along with you and learn about how to actually make a real difference on the planet. So what I'm hearing you say is the first action everyone should take after this call is to open up a free Connect account with the person that invited you to this call and told you about it. Get involved in the community, start getting on these community calls and start really feeling into what projects and spaces you want to be involved in. So it's like being in the know is your first step to contribution in this space.
Yeah, and I would say share the wallets with your friends. Like it's super easy to share them. And I can send you some Give personally to show your friends of what it's about and send it around. But that's the biggest thing that would help first is, when I say wallet, it's literally just signing up for an account. It's really, really easy, but it's a digital wallet that you can hold all these rewards in and you're making an impact. So just like Scott said, you can purchase their bracelets with it. You can go to the carbon credits with mine. You can go to Africa. You can do all this other things. So it's a start.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to commit. It's an offer. You beat me to it. I'm going to, after Miller talks to us about Connect, I'm going to offer everybody a free wallet and some free rewards and start getting them in this space so they can start contributing. Because what I wanted this call to be about was it wasn't asking people for money, but asking people for passion and energy and contribution in all ways, shapes and forms. So we know
and
that
any ideas, like if you guys have anything in Australia that you want me to help with, I'm so serious. I'll help set it up and facilitate it. So
yeah, so
during
all
Christmas.
that is, guys, if you know anyone, like I know a lady not far from here that was running a women's refuge and she had to shut it down, so I'm in connection with her and we're looking at bringing that back to life again. So if you know anyone doing anything, or if there's a cause big or small that you want to ignite, like I said, Jada's looking at some really low level animal rescue stuff just to get started. I think every single person putting in a little bit of energy together as a community. That's why I wanted to create this space. So as a community, we can all grow together. So speaking of grow, Faith, thank you so much. We're going to bring your bro, Will Taylor, on the call. I know you're on this space, Will. Let's get you on.
What's up, squad?
Ah, the man. How are you, bro?
Amazing, amazing.
I'm just going to let you freestyle and take it from here. People know who you are.
All right, what's up, everyone? Thank you for having me here. It's always fun to come to a community and follow up with the other projects that we talk about with Connect. We had some internal conversations the other day around we're creating a lot of things, and I'm going to talk about what I believe we're really creating in just a minute here. But the truth is it all comes down to community, and it comes down to making an impact in the world. And that's what we really do. So thank you all for being here. Thanks for taking an hour and a half out of your day. Our time is the most valuable asset we have. And so thank you for being willing to spend 60 to 90 minutes with us today. And I hope it's worth it. Here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go a little bit about the mission of Grow. I'm going to tie it into how we can make a difference in the missions that we have. I already know that everyone on this call is going to believe in the mission and vision of every project. Now we need to know what to do with that. Where do we go? What do we do? Belief is amazing and it helps us become who we want to be. But if we don't do anything with it, then it doesn't actually move. We know we want to change the thing in mining. We know we want to help all of the things, amazing things that Faith just said, but it starts with what we're doing. And so a little bit of background on me and how the heck I got here. I used to play rugby back in the day, and I purely throw that out for street cred with all the Australians on this call. I was on with some guys in Europe earlier, and I always have to throw it out. But I was playing, and my best friend, my roommate, my teammate, we played for 5 years together. When we left, when we stopped playing, he went back to the farm, and I went on to try and be an entrepreneur. And I got into the fitness space, and he went on to run the family farm. So he's a third-generation farmer out of Washington State here in the United States. And I started coaching people all over the world. I bought a couple gyms. I built a couple apps. And pretty soon, my wife and I were coaching hundreds of people all over the world. And my buddy calls me and he says, "Hey, man, I'm fat. I don't look anything like I used to. Can you help me lose some weight and feel good again?" So I said, yeah. I started coaching him. And I realized that if the only thing he did was start eating the food that he was growing, that he would probably see positive results. And so I gave him the challenge for the next 6 weeks. I only want you to eat things that you grow. And he had gone home, and to give you a little bit of a vision of what they have 17,000 irrigated acres and about 80,000 head of cattle. So they're a pretty big operation, but it was all family run. And they grow everything: apples, cherries, onions, potatoes, milk, cheese, beef. And what happened for him over the next 6 weeks is everything in his life got better. His weight dropped, he looked better, he felt better. And what we realized is that the good quality regenerative food that he was growing was the biggest lever he could push to live a positive and empowered life. And so that got both of us on the track of taking that vision, aligning it with his vision of regenerative farming, and both nourishing himself, but also the plants, the animals, the soil, and the atmosphere that he was using to grow and raise the food that we all consume. And we wanted to bring that together. And so we built a Web 2-based application called Farm Tracer that did just that. All it did is it aggregated the data, it tracked and traced the methods he was using, and we started taking it to the world. And we started to have some cool wins. We had a company called Amazon. Maybe some of you guys have heard of Amazon. They reached out to us and they said, "We think what you're doing is really cool, and we only want your beef in this arena that we just bought." And so Austin and his farm got a contract of multiple 7 figures to be the exclusive beef into this Climate Pledge arena in Seattle, Washington. And with that, we knew we had a win. And so we started trying to take it to farmers, and we started trying to grow it because we knew we wanted to help the world, and we knew that if we could bring transparency to the system, it would work. But we ran into a lot of hurdles until we met blockchain. And the thing I want us all to wrap our heads around today is what we are building is the mechanism to create the result that we're talking about. And that mechanism is blockchain. And so just throw in the chat really quick. Does anybody on this call, just put yes or no. If you hold Bitcoin or Ethereum, put yes. If you don't, put no. It's fine. I just want to see who we're talking to. Beautiful. So we have a lot of yeses. We've got a couple nodes. Yes, yes, no, yes, used to. John, you probably should have held that, but everyone, each to their own. No, 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 no. Okay, perfect. So I got some yeses and some nos. This is good. I'm going to come back to this, but let me share my screen here and let's dive into a little bit of grow and how we're all going to grow and change the world together. So grow, like you've heard today, we are a blockchain focused on nourishing people, animals, and the planet with the vision to decentralize the global ag and farming industry. This is what the food industry looks right now. It's completely controlled essentially by 10 large companies. And coming out of the Great Depression 100 years ago, 80 years ago, that was okay. We started to get some global food supply. We started to get global trade routes. But that's now created some of the biggest problems that we have. We have the best technology on the planet and the highest chronic disease rate that has ever been on the earth. That's a problem. It should be the inverse of that. And we believe that a lot of the problems lie in that most of the pictures on this that you see are not actually food. They're filled with ingredients that don't actually help us live healthy lives, and they're sure not nourishing the soil and the atmosphere that we're coming from, and we want to help change that. The first thing we have to do to change that is we have to make producers the hero of the story again. 100 years ago or 150 years ago, we knew where our food came from because we were either growing it ourselves or we were getting it from a neighbor. That is not possible. I want to be really clear on this. That's not going to happen again. The world has changed significantly. We have big cities. We have global trade. We're probably not going to go back to where everybody's living on a homestead, although that would be amazing. So we have to match what I call tradition with technology. We have to take the best tradition of the past and match it with the best technology of today. And that technology is blockchain and AI. And as we do that, we are going to help people who eat. So raise your hand if you fit in this category. Does everybody fit in the people who eat category? All right, every face I can see raise their hand, so everyone gets an A+ for participation as well. Good work. It's a good call, Ange. Sometimes I look at the screen and everybody, anyways, we have none of that today, so good work. We want to return our confidence and trust in the quality and source of our food. I've done this bet now about 10,000 times and I haven't lost it yet. And the bet goes like, if you want me to send you a Bitcoin today, raise your hand. Everybody keeps their hand raised, okay? I go back to, if you remember what you had in the last 72 hours to eat and drink, keep your hand raised. And then keep your hand raised if you can tell me what everything that went in to grow that food or raise that food, the carbon footprint of that food, the biodiversity of that food, and can you prove it via technology that's decentralized? Now, obviously, nobody can win that bet yet, right? We will. I promise you one day before I die, I will lose that bet many times because that is what we are building. We are going to make producers the hero of the story again, and we're going to return all of our confidence and trust in the quality and source of our food. And we're going to do it with blockchain. And our mission comes down to nourishing the world. I believe deeply that we as the stewards of this planet, the stewards of our body, the way in which we nourish that, the food that we eat, and the way that we produce that food is the key for us to continue to grow as humans and as civilization. And now I want to dive back into Web3 and the mechanism that I talked about of how we're doing this. Web 1 was the information economy. It gave us instantaneously access to all of this information. This is the Googles, the Yahoos. For those of you that remember MSN, all of a sudden we could jump online and we could get all this information. Then we moved to Web 2, and Web 2 was the platform economy. And the platform economy allowed us to become creators on top of the information economy. However, as we created on it with social media, with things like Squarespace, Shopify, etc., everything was still owned and managed by the centralized system that was created by the information economy. Web3 and/or blockchain becomes the ownership economy. In every blockchain that you've heard about today, there are no single owners. There are no board of directors, and there's no public corporation that is just driven by profits. We are driven by the mission and the vision that we have, and we can do it because everyone that is a participant and a creator by either running a node or participating in the network in any way is part of that ownership economy. And so as we become creators, as we become involved, it allows us to move into a new way of being. And I love this quote by Henry Ford. He said, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. I've been in this agriculture health space for almost a decade. And when I talk to some of the brightest minds in the world about how we solve these problems, they teach me how to train a faster horse. Okay. And I want to be really clear on this. The problems that we're talking about exist today because we keep trying to beat a dead horse. If we keep trying to beat that dead horse, we will never solve the problems. We will never solve the mining problems. We will never solve the world trafficking, human trafficking problems, and we sure won't regenerate the earth. The blockchain and the way and mechanism in which it's structured, where everyone creates and participates, is the way. And that's something I believe very deeply. It's the way that we can solve it. And so we're not just building a faster horse. We're not just getting better at training and coaching that horse. And we're not just jockeys that ride the horse. We're actually the creators that are within the system that can buck the system so that everything can be publicly shared, immutable, with full trust and transparency, and so that we can record and track assets. When you think about Grow, what we're doing is taking real world positive actions, tracking that in a digital world, and then rewarding those actions over and over and over again. So the more positive actions we take, the stronger the network gets over and over and over again. So that we move from a centralized system where everything points inward, and we move to a blockchain where it's a complete matrix and it's free. This is true global freedom. And it, to me, is this amazing tying of matching tradition with technology. And every single one of those dots is one of us. It's one of you for being on this call and for everything that we do in the future to create on the platform. And so when you think about the Grow blockchain specifically, we're a blockchain for all ag-related products and services that focuses into this middle. And there are 101 ways in which the blockchain can be leveraged to nourish the world. But it's all about coming back to our center. And the center is this decentralized community and this technology that can plug in to do things like track and trace. And so one of the things we can do is that app I mentioned at the beginning, where we can actually track, and we can have a QR code where consumers can scan and see all of the information that was put on chain about the food we ate. We have things like Scott mentioned, carbon credits or biodiversity credits. And I actually saw, I kind of like hitting when I see things that may or may not be construed as negative, but I saw somebody put on here that carbon credits are a scam. Regardless of where you politically stand on any of this, the entire purpose of blockchain is to grow to a trustless society. And let me tell you what I mean by that. It's about having as much data as possible to make the best decisions. And so regardless of whether we sit over here that this is a scam or this is that, the more decentralized trusted data that we have, the better decisions that we can make, so that we don't end up with bias or being marketed to or lobbied to by massive centralized organizations that are just trying to pigeonhole us into a certain way of life. If we want freedom, we need to have the freedom to create the choice that we have based on decentralized data. And so, for example, with one of our farms, we were able to help them make millions of dollars by putting in the largest worm farm in the world and completely rejuvenating their soil. And that rejuvenation of that soil did create carbon credits that were actually purchased last week for another $1 million and help that farmer recoup and spend more money on rejuvenating his soil. And that's what we're about. Because when we were able to run that through the blockchain, everything became transparent and trusted. In fact, while Faith was presenting, I might have checked my email for a second, and I saw that 2 other of those massive corporations that I showed you at the beginning are now interested in transacting on this blockchain. And that 59,000 of the carbon credits that we created last week were NFT'd on the Grow blockchain and transferred to Nestle to their Grow account on the Grow blockchain. Very, very exciting things, which brings us to the end, which I'll tie that all back together. Another very exciting for all my Aussies on here for Grow Australia. We are currently working on launching farmers that will sell direct to consumer and will accept the Grow token in December of this year. And Ange says, everybody give shout out to Ange, give shout out to Lisa, give a shout out to everyone else on this call who has helped do that. We have done that through community. We're in conversations, and every single person on this call will be able to take their Grow tokens and get food shipped directly to their door in your country. And we're going to do that across the world. So very, very exciting. And it's all thanks to you guys. So Ange has mentioned this a couple times. Get some water. How can we all be involved? The most important thing we can do, you've heard us all say, set up an account, and Ange is going to help you set up a free account today. And we will actually send you rewards. So for being on this call, we'll get you rewards and we'll get you in the system, because the more people that get rewards and hold those rewards in a digital wallet, that's the digital world. That's like raising your hand and saying, I believe in the mission of this project. And so you asked me earlier, do you hold Bitcoin? Do you hold Ethereum? People that hold that believe in the future value of what those things will be. And so if anything that we have said today resonates with you, the only thing you have to do is set up that free account, which Ange is going to give you, and just hold some Grow, hold some Element, hold some Give, hold it in there, because that shows the digital world that this is valuable, that this can go do something. And then we can go create all the things that we're talking about, so that we can go from this centralized system to where all of the holders are actually in the middle. We need all of the holders to be these colored dots. And we need as many colored dots in as many countries and as many cities as possible, as fast as possible. And that's what we need. And that's what's going to create the momentum for us to go to create what I believe and what I call the Grow Renaissance. You've heard me talk about big centralization, big companies. We've got small farmers and homesteads. If we want to bring tradition and match it with the best technology on the planet, and we want to change the world and we want to nourish the world in the best way possible, we all have to work together. It cannot be a single driven force or a single small group of people. Yes, it will start small, but it has to grow. And that is what a renaissance is. When you look back at some of the renaissances that have happened in history, it changed the way that people acted, it changed the way that they were, and it changed the way that they thought. I believe that what we are doing will change the way that we act, change the way that we are, and change the way that we think as humanity. And that's what we're doing to bring together the Grow blockchain and all of the blockchains that we bring in our impact projects, so that we can leverage and use blockchain technology to nourish people, animals, and the planet as a community of amazing people. And that is Grow.
Boom. I want to show you something, Will. I don't know if you saw it in our chat thread. I want to show you something. I want to show you the full wrath of an Aussie farmer.
Hi guys, Michael from Primal Co. So the other afternoon, having dinner with my daughter, she asked me what was on a plate and where did it come from. It dawned on me that she was asking this question. So the meat come off our farm. I know exactly, have the traceability of what goes into my cattle. They're pesticide-free, vaccinated-free, grass-fed. So that means a lot to me, exactly just that. Where, what, when. Honest question I'm asking you out there. Do you know in the last, say, 5 days where your produce comes from? Your meat, your vegetables, your fruit? Or you just go to the markets or the supermarket and buy it? Because there's a lot of farmers out there that put their blood, sweat and tears to make things grow, and so we can sell them to you. So she also asked me, where's the eggs come from? They come from our chicken coop, from our chickens, our carrot grown in the garden, the corn grown in that garden. So just little things have daunted to me that I just thought I'd just let you all know that there's farmers out there. I'm a butcher. I make things happen too. I've got my farm and I can produce you my beef, lamb and pork. So check us out on these websites and give us all a go. Anyway, have a great weekend and we'll catch up with some good people shortly. All right, bye. Hi guys, Michael from Primal Co. So the other afternoon, having dinner with my daughter, She asked me what was on a plate and where
How
did
do
it
I
come
stop
from.
it?
It dawned on me that she was
It's gonna keep playing.
So,
hang
for
on,
me,
hang
I guess
on.
we can hear it again. We didn't get it the first time.
traceability of what goes in.
There we
All
go.
right.
So,
So
like if you want to be good people, buy your food from good farmers. It'll change
hey,
everything.
Will, that's our first Aussie grow farmer, Mick Beaumont.
Yep.
Legend,
He's
eh?
coming. Very, very soon here, you guys will be able to buy that food he was talking about with your Grow rewards.
Yeah. Oh, I got too many tears. It hits me. So for those that are in Aussie, Mick Beaumont and his business partner Brad Halsey, they cool humans in the Northern Rivers of New South Wales. They're going to be putting food on our plates. You can order from them. So let me take a breath. What I'm hearing you say, and we're gonna hear from Steve Miller in just a sec. What I'm hearing you say is, when I named this call Close the Gap, Creating Financial Sovereignty, I know a lot of us here want out of a system that we feel is unhelpful to our future and our kids' future. And I know you've got beautiful kids and family, and a lot of us on this call have beautiful kids and family. And if we don't want to be eating lab-based, lab-grown food and be full of, artificial ingredients and be dosing our kids up on ADHD medication for the rest of their lives to combat that, then we've got to make another choice, right? As far as I see, we're choosing from one lane. And what I wanted was not to ask people to necessarily buy nodes. Like, that's great, and we'll educate the people about that. But it's, when, I'm not a multimillionaire, but what I knew I could do with you was roll up my sleeves and go to farmers and be like, hey, do you want to be a part of this ecosystem where we can buy our food from you using the rewards? So we're getting out of the fiat government controlled system, and we're buying from crew like Mick Beaumont on the Northern Rivers and his really great grown food. What else can we do if we don't have the cash right now? What else can we do with our time and our energy and our network and our word of mouth to help create this ecosystem so all of us here and our kids and our future have different choices?
Perfect. So when we look at all of those systems that you just described, the reason that they're as big as they are is because, one, people have conformed to them, but they have a large group of people. Essentially, there's a community of people that will do or believe in the groups that you're talking about. We have to get bigger. And it doesn't mean we have to have more people, but we have to get bigger, we have to get louder, and we have to become more powerful. And so the first thing that we can do is become one of those dots in a decentralized system. Set up a digital account. Here's what's really cool. The digital world is going to connect us all. It already has. Like, it's changing, right? We're not going back to a village. All of you are in Australia. I'm in Puerto Rico right now, and we're having a live call. The digital world is only going to get bigger, and we are creating it, and we're creating the connections of how we actually create sovereign network states that are connected by creators of a community. And so let me just expand your mind a little bit, as mine has been expanded as I've gotten into this world. This call is the beginning of an entirely new sovereign community that is connected by the boundaries of a network state that is run on top of a node network that is a blockchain. And so the sovereign state that you speak of, that we all want, is happening right now. It's just in its infancy. And so the way that we grow it is we get more people to be included and take action in that digital world to grow it. Does that make sense? Everybody following me? Yeah. And so what we can do is talk about the mission and the visions of the things that we believe in and get people to take actions in that digital world to add another dot, and then connect that dot with more positive actions by buying food. So that's the first thing. And we can't forget that, because sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we want to get 800 farmers on board and we want to track the entire food system. That's a big lift. And I promise you we'll solve it before I die, at least. We'll get there. But we get there much faster, the faster that community grows and the faster that sovereign network state is created. And so that's step one. And don't forget it. Step two is, just like Ange did, and many of you on this call, I see your faces, start connecting with the farmers that are just like what we just heard, that want to be involved in that new system, and we'll start matchmaking the producers and the consumers, and we'll create our own sovereign economy. That's what we do.
Yeah, so look, I'm going to hang around after this call and we're going to wrap this together with Steve Miller and talk about the whole new ecosystem. But what I'm hearing you say is learn what this community is about, create a free wallet, free account, get on board, start getting on calls. We might have another call with just you, Will, and talk deeper about the grow community and the grow space. Get yourself some tokens. If you've got the cash to buy a grow node, amazing. But what I'm hearing Will say, and we had a bit of a laugh the other morning, Will's like, so you want me to be a cult leader, Ange? And I'm like, absolutely, I want you to be a cult leader, bro. We're the grow cult. Like, cult is culture, right? It comes from the etymology of the word culture. And we all have to be leaders. And that is closing the gap on separation, you know, and creating different choices. So I know if I can use a grow token to buy my food and vegetables, I did some quick maths, and this always impresses me, Will, is, you know, I'm a single parent with a 16-year-old daughter. I'm not a big family like some of you crew that have, you know, 4 or 5 kids like Miller, 6 kids to feed. And I'm like, I'm thinking that's going to be like 500 Aussie dollars plus a week on good food. And I'm like, if I could buy a grow node for $5,500 US, that's going to pay itself off in the price of food when I'm using my tokens, buying it from Mick and Brad, and then I'm getting free food. When that landed for me, I was thinking about things like how many more of my neighbors and people I could help, how much better food I could help, and then I'm fueling an ecosystem. So we might definitely have you back on another call and talk deeper into that. But my call to action from here is I want people to start asking, how do we get involved? That is the primary question. How do I get involved? How do I sign up for my free account to get involved in this community? So Will, bro, thank you so much. I love you always. It looks like you're on a boat right now. That looks super cool in my head.
I wish I was on a boat. This is I just got a new office though, but it overlooks the Puerto Rican beach. So it's not a bad gig.
Not a bad place. We would say not a daggy place to hang out. So I'm coming for a visit. Will,
Can I add
so
one
much.
thing, Ange,
Yeah.
just to be on the track for? We are going to launch a New Year's Grow Challenge. And so we will make sure that everyone in this community and the Connect community is the first to know about that. But there's going to be some really cool prizes. All you have to do, it's going to be a free challenge as long as you you have a grow account, you hold some kind of grow in that wallet. And we're going to do exactly what I did with Austin. So what I described at the beginning that really started this entire journey, we're going to take 6 weeks together and we're going to get everybody healthier, stronger, and happier. And we're going to do it with good food, and we're going to do it around the mission. So be on the lookout for that at the beginning of the year.
Wicked. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Stephen Miller, are you on the call?
I am.
Mate, how are you? You're busy.
Oh, I'm doing you know, this has been just an amazing call. I just really am grateful to be here with all of you today.
Amazing. Bro, I'm not going to give you a big rap because people know who you are. I've been marketing who you are and your leadership and community genius in this space. You've heard from Scotty, and I know your friends and family with Faith and Will. What I'm hoping for is in, you know, the next 15, 20 minutes, you take as long as people are willing to listen. Can you tie this all together? We share the same passion around ecosystem. And I know Connect's vision is to create solutions to a lot of the world's problems. I'm going to hand you the mic, and in typical Miller style, when you talk to us as hundreds and thousands of already motivated, passionate Connect community that see this, for anyone new on this call, can you wrap this up? Will and Scotty and Faith dropped a lot of new language. Can you wrap this up and help bring this together so people can get involved?
Yeah, I mean, I will do my best. That is a tall order, but one that I think that I absolutely can meet. Maybe I'll start off with just a couple of stories. You're all here on this call because you want to be happier, healthier, and wealthier. I mean, I think that's where we all stand in life, period. Right? Happy, healthy, wealthy. If we can get more of that on a day-to-day basis, we're great. And then once we've got it, if we can share that with people that we love, that's a huge motivator. I come from a really poor background, and I just want to maybe tell you a little bit about my story real quick. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, my father took me for the first time to go learn what I deemed the family trade, kind of put that in quotes. He took me to go dumpster diving with him for the very first time. And I learned at 7 or 8 years old that a lot of the food that we put on our kitchen table was from grocery store dumpsters. I don't want to paint a false picture. Like we weren't eating rotten food. You know, my dad would go to the grocery stores. He was actually a super friendly guy. He'd get to know all the guys at the grocery store, and they would let him know when they were throwing it out. They'd throw it in the dumpster because they had to. And then my dad would go in and he'd take out all the food. He'd sort it. What was good, he would keep, and we would freeze. What was bad, he would throw away. And so this was my childhood. And you know, I didn't go on field trips often that cost $5 or $10 because we didn't have the $5 or $10. So I would stay home. And that's kind of what I grew up with, in this kind of idea of scarcity or not enough. And as I got older, I realized that there are a lot of people that live in that space. There are a lot of people that believe that there isn't enough, or that they don't have enough, or that they don't know how to get to the next level or take the next step. And I worked in real estate for a long while. I worked in personal development for a period of time. And it was hard because every time I would talk to people about personal development and real estate, although it sounded really good and there are some great things about it, I knew that no matter what room I was talking to, I was only probably talking to about 1 or 2% of the room of individuals that had income, assets, credit, things to do so that they could actually invest in real estate, and, you know, that were in a position where they wanted to even think about, you know, improving their lives in a different way, because they were so focused on how am I going to pay my rent, or how am I going to, you know, pay the mortgage or buy that next meal or whatever. When I was introduced to blockchain about 6.5 years ago, it completely changed my world. I had been searching and searching and searching for a long time, looking for something better, looking for a different way, knowing that what my father was doing as a child wasn't enough. I knew that there was something else. I had friends that didn't experience what I was, so I was always looking for those solutions. And when I found blockchain, my mind was blown, because for the first time I saw a system that was built for everyone. It wasn't built for the top 2% or 1% or whatever, although they could all participate too, right? It was built for everyone to be able to own every aspect of your life. Now, I want to really hone in on that for a second, because that to me is one of the most important things. Right now, today, most of us don't really own a lot of things about our own lives. And what I mean by that is we do social media, and social media owns our content. They own our data and all that kind of stuff. We do banking. Our banks own our money, whatever it is, they own it, they control it, they can freeze it. Like it's in their control. Our food, we just talked, Will just jumped in and talked about it. These 10 companies globally own us in our food. Like they own everything that we eat. They give us what we eat. We just accept it because that's kind of what's there. We don't own our health that way. And same with the doctors and everyone, all these different organizations, all these different, companies, governments, whatever it is, they own and control every aspect of our lives. Blockchain has created a scenario where you can take it back, where I can take it back, where we can all decide to own every aspect of our lives. And it doesn't have to be done all at once. It can happen one step at a time. But the more you begin to learn about it, the more you see it, this isn't just pretty words. Like these are real things. And we're seeing it in so many different industries right now, where the people are saying, we've had enough. Like, I don't want anyone else to own my content. I don't want anyone else to own any part of me. I want to own it myself. If I'm going to swipe a card, for goodness sakes, I want to swipe that card and get benefited for it. I don't want the bank to benefit from me swiping my card. Why can't we own that as a community? And that's what blockchain is providing. It's providing an opportunity for all of us to own every single aspect of our lives. If I want, gold and silver, or if I want to use a device like this, I can do it from ethically sourced minerals and materials. And like, again, whatever it is, if I want to give to a charity, I should know exactly where that dollar is going. Not that 80% of it is going to overhead to go feed some other, some big wigs, to fill his pockets or her pockets. I think it should go towards the charity that I'm trying to affect the change in, right? And so that's what Give is doing. And so it just at its basic level, the reason why blockchain is so powerful, the reason right now why almost every Fortune 100, 500, 5,000 company are looking into how they can implement blockchain is because there is real power in it. Most of them don't have any clue, and they don't yet understand actually what it means, because really what it means is letting go. For most of these, it means giving control and power back to the individual. And so many other companies, although there's some great things about the technology like tracking and tracing, all that kind of stuff, it's so much deeper than that. It's about giving access, control back to the people, and rewarding people for participation. Maybe, just a really quick story. I've got 7 kids, and they're amazing, and I love them. And we got a dog a couple years ago, and this dog was a 75% German Shepherd and a few other things. We did his DNA test. It was lots of fun. But this was a big puppy. Right now he weighs about 100 pounds, and he's about 2.5 years old, almost 3 years old. And when he was a puppy, he would chew up shoes, right? And that's just one thing that he loved to do. I remember coming home almost every day, and a new pair of shoes, it felt like this anyway, a new pair of shoes had been chomped up. And my kids don't like cheap shoes. For some reason, they all love Nikes. And, the Nikes would run anywhere from $150 to $300 or $400 a pair of shoes. It's ridiculous. But anyway, imagine for a second, if you will, that on average, they're $200 a pair. And let's say that 10 pairs of shoes were eaten up within like a 6-month period. It's probably lower. It was probably less time than that. If I were to blockchain this, now just go with me for just a second. I could have taken that $2,000 that I now have to spend on new shoes. I could have set $1,000 aside, told my kids, if you will put your shoes away, if you will do an action that not only benefits you, but it's going to benefit the dog, because dad won't be mad at the dog, right? So it's going to benefit you, it's going to benefit the dog, dad won't be angry. There's like a multitude of different wins here. If you will do those actions, I'll pay you 50 cents every time you put your shoes away. I'm going to save money, right? Because I'm going to take 1,000 of that $2,000 I know I'm going to have to spend anyway. I'll take 1,000 of that. I'm going to save money. They're going to earn money. They're going to learn actions that will benefit them in the future. It's going to benefit me and everyone else surrounding, right? So now we've created this little mini ecosystem where those that are willing to take the actions to support the good ideas, right, can now be rewarded for that. Blockchain takes it a step further, where instead of it being on me to pay my kids because of those actions, it's all programmed, and it just happens automatically as those actions are completed. And anyway, so blockchain can help any scenario, from my kids and taking care of their shoes to you name it, right? To charities and cleaning up the industrial mining space and finding better solutions to our food. Whatever it is, blockchain has a solution, and it leans on those that are benefiting the most from that, you and I. The system leans on us to do those needed actions, but it doesn't just ask for it. It says, hey, I'll reward you for it. And so that's what blockchain is all about. For me, as a kid growing up super poor, I saw it as a massive solution, and it has tremendously blessed my life. And this is my personal experience. I've made more money with blockchain tech and being a part of these types of communities in the last 7 years than I did in the 38 years prior put together. Like it truly has been the greatest thing that I've ever done. And this is not a get rich quick thing. I promise you, I've also made probably more sacrifices than most people would ever want to think about. But that's part of it. Like you got to be part of the community. And hopefully you feel my passion a little bit. Hopefully you don't hear my dog barking like a crazy kid over there. But I love this space. I've seen it change lives. I continue to see it change lives over and over and over again for those that are willing to choose in. and you don't have to. Like it is your choice. Look, you can get off this call and go return to your life as you know it, or you can get off this call and decide to do something different. And one of my favorite quotes is, "Different isn't always better, but better will always be different." So if you want better for your life, then it's time to start doing some different and better things. And maybe it's this, maybe it's not. Look, that's up to you to decide. We're going to hear and we're going to continue to give the information. And for those of you who have felt something different here, then we're going to invite you to jump on board and be part of this community, contribute. Don't just look for a handout. Like so many people that I know, like they're jumping from meme coin to meme coin to meme coin, only to then end up with a horrible situation and empty pockets. And it's like, man, look, do something that's real. And there's no guarantee, like, and I'll say this a million times, I can't guarantee anybody anything. I'm not going to guarantee you that a token value is going to go up or something else is going to happen. I can't guarantee it. But I believe that as we come together as a community, I've seen it happen already, but I believe as we come together as a community, as we contribute, as we're rewarded for that contribution, as we bring more and more utility, like you heard from Will and Scott and Faith, as we do these things, it has no other option but to grow and to improve and to provide more for more people that are here and supporting it. So I love what we're doing here. I think it's just amazing. I invite all of you to lock arms with us and move forward. This is not going to happen with me and Will and Scott and Faith alone, or Ange or Lisa. It's going to happen as we come together as a community. And the invitation is to join one that resonates with you. And hopefully this is it.
Miller, I love this. Tell us a little bit. So, I picked Scotty and Faith and Will because they're, the three that are standout favorites for me. And I just didn't have time to talk to everybody. But we've got so many projects in this community, in this Connect community. I love to call it a social ecosystem. And what I see with Connect is you guys, the OGs in this space, right? Thurston, Tony, Billy, Jim, all of you guys that have been here since day dot. I was talking to Ali the other day, and I can see where it's mimicking society as we know it. So food, technology, transport, mining. I see that Connect is creating a space where there's a project that mimics, so we have an alternative choice. And when I say sovereign, it's a word you guys, Jim spoke a lot about to some of the community members in this space. Can you help me understand, fast forward us, I don't know, 3 years sounds too much, but fast forward us, what is the future going to look like with success in this Connect social ecosystem? What is your vision when you zip out into the future? What does it look like?
Yeah, I mean, so there are there's a little over 8 billion people on the planet today. And 5.14, 5.14, whatever billion people are on the internet, and the vast majority of those people are on social media. And we're social media is interesting because everyone goes on. Most people that I know waste half of their time or 90% of their time that they're on social media just death scrolling. And it was created, I believe, in the beginning to help connect people. It's not that now. People don't connect. I mean, they do, but most of our connections are going to happen face-to-face, one-on-one, as it always should be and has been. But social media, these platforms have created a space where if we were to do it differently and better, it would create a whole new society, one where we are really connected, and we're not just connected, but we're making an impact, right? This is why what we're launching, like what we're doing here in Connect, is building the world's first social impact platform, where we bring these impact brands together.
Do you have the slide, Miller?
Oh, yes.
The one that's like literally got all the little, because I think when this landed for me, and it really blew my brain, that when I look at that food grid that Will threw up, That's just one part of the ecosystem. When I look at what Connect is creating, and there's going to be social media platforms that we get rewarded to use, food industry we get rewarded to buy from, mining industry we get rewarded. Like, I'm like, it actually takes a lot for a human to understand we are going to receive instead of being taken from.
Yeah. And I don't have the slide I was looking for. I can't find it right now. I apologize, but maybe do you have it or?
Yeah, I'll find it.
Okay. So, but the point of what you're saying here is literally this is taking everything that you knew, like everything that, you know, big companies are heading up. And by the way, look, I'm not against companies. What I want is for companies to understand that profit isn't the most important thing. Profit happens as you help bless the world. Like that's when real impact happens, as we are all having an amazing experience. You know, like I can only imagine right now the medical industry and even the pharmaceutical industry is a massive industry. I believe that it would probably be a lot bigger and a lot more massive if they cared about the people more. If it wasn't about not solving the actual problem but putting a Band-Aid on it, you know, if we were focused on the actual solutions, I think our healthcare would improve like crazy. I think cancer would be done away with. I think like all sorts of things would happen if we as a community were driving it and profits weren't necessarily driving it. And instead of all of the money going towards fixing the problems, the money would still be there. Like we would still transact, we would still do things, but we would do it now to maintain health in a different manner instead. Right? Think about the billions and billions of dollars that are spent on healthcare to get healthy again. Whereas I think we would spend those same dollars, maybe even less dollars, but more concentrated dollars on maintaining good health by doing better things, eating better food, exercising, like do all these different things. And that excess, well, where does that go? Well, it can do all sorts of things. It can go into better innovation. It can go into expanding and growing different networks. It can go into, you know, building and uplifting. It can go to charities like Give and helping to free girls and boys from child sex slavery. Like, is there a better cause? You know, and the amount of money that's needed for that, $2 billion, is not that much money, but it takes all of us contributing. It's not even just about the money, right? It's about, do we want it? Are we willing to put our energy into it? Are we willing to not only help to donate to these girls, but are we willing to get in there and then help teach them as well, and help them to grow and become great members of society? I mean, you can see here on the screen, you know, we've got ride sharing like Uber and Lyft. And I don't know if you have gone and done a ride share anytime recently, but when I travel, I do it all the time. And every time, if you will talk to the people that are in the car, I love talking to them because they're amazing people, and most of them have just phenomenal stories. But if you ask them, hey, how is it now from compared to when it first started? Like, how is your experience now with Uber or Lyft or whoever compared to when you first started? Almost all of them will say, well, it started off decent and it's gone down. It's gone downhill. More and more is being taken out of my pocket. I'm having to do more car repairs, and I don't have the money for it or whatever. And what about a society? And that's by the way, that is $160 billion industry. Okay, so it's a big, massive industry. But if you decentralize that, and all those profits aren't going up to a centralized few, but are being redistributed back through the network, all of a sudden the drivers earn more, and the data's back. Like, it's already coming back. Drivers are earning 2 to 3 times as much for driving with Revo than they were with driving with Uber or Lyft. So they're earning more. The riders are paying less, right? It's not like take from this person to give to this person. No, it's like bring it together as a group and a community. And instead of a few getting all of the rewards, it gets distributed to all those that are participating and helping it to grow. And so, and that's Revo. They're all doing the same thing. Galvin is one of my favorites. Green, I love. Like, imagine having access and control over all of your medical records. Like, I don't know anybody, by the way, that's only been to one doctor in the last 20 years. Like, almost everybody has gone to 5, 10 different doctors in the last 20 years, you know, because they've moved or, you know, gone to different doctors for different things. most of those don't talk to each other. Do you notice that every time you go back into the doctor's office, they all ask you to fill out the exact same information that you've filled out 20 times, 50 times in the past? Because they don't have it. So they're relying on your memory rather than you having like your own personal database, your own personal record. Galvin's going to make that happen. And not only that, but they're also going to reward you right now for maintaining health, for staying healthy, right? For doing healthy actions, both physically and mentally. So anyway, I mean, my future vision, I know I'm kind of on a rant right now, and I love it, but my vision of this is that literally every aspect of your life, you own a piece of it. Like you own the foundation of it, which means as you do those actions, someone else isn't getting all the benefit from it, but you are getting a benefit from it, whatever those actions are. If you're going to get legal services, like with Blockade, right? If you're going to go get a legal service, well, you might as well go get legal services from a legal, service where you own a piece of it. Where what you're getting in legal services, you own a part of it already, and so you're getting help there. If you're going to give to charity, you might as well own a piece of it and give where you know it's going to be tracked and traced on the blockchain, where there's trust, right? Or no need for trust because it just happens automatically, and every other aspect. So yeah, to me, blockchain is going to be infused into every aspect of our lives, and we can either be a part of the growth, be a part of the beginning of it, own a piece of it, or participate in it later. And both are going to be great, but it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like a cell phone, right? In order for the cell phone networks to ever work, there had to be towers. Do you know anybody that owns a cell phone tower? I mean, I wonder, is there anyone on this call that knows somebody who owns a cell phone tower?
I know people that have them on their land, they get paid to have them on their land.
That's what I mean. Perfect. Exactly. So most of us, so you know somebody maybe that has it on their land. How many of you know someone who has a cell phone tower on their land? Throw it in the chat. If anyone knows anyone that has a cell phone tower on their land. One person, two, baby. Okay. So most of us don't know someone like that. But how many of you know somebody who owns a cell phone?
Loads. Everyone.
How many of you know someone who does not own a cell phone? I probably should ask that question, right? We all own a cell phone. We're all taking advantage of this network that was created, but there are very, very few who own the foundations of those networks, who own those cell phone towers or getting paid those cell phone towers. And so there's a massive opportunity here. Either way, it's going to be a plus. Like I love having a cell phone and using my cell phone. It's been a great boost to business and family and relationships and all sorts of things. But man, honestly, I wish I owned a cell phone tower. I wish I did. But I do own nodes. I am helping to build and support the network and foundation of this amazing new technology in a big way. I own a lot of nodes now. And the reason why I own a lot of nodes now is because one of my very first projects that I was participating in, I owned a small handful of those nodes. It jumped 540,000% in a 2.5 year time frame. And that's, by the way, that's on the blockchain. You don't have to believe me. You can go look it up. It's on the blockchain. I can give you all the information later. But point is it did that. My biggest regret was that I didn't have more nodes. that was like the biggest thing.
Hey, Miller, it's got me thinking we may, like the other guys, we might do a call just with you and talk about wealth creation.
Absolutely.
I really do feel like, we could talk about this. And I know we're so passionate about wanting to educate people. I guess the call to action here is, even if you don't understand this, I've been here 6-7 months and I don't understand the technicalities of blockchain. I'm learning, I'm absorbing. What I do know though, is blockchain is here. It's here to stay. It's going to keep evolving. Crypto is here. We're watching Bitcoin lead the way with this. We're watching, the first presidential crypto positive space unfold at a rate of knots. We're watching the richest man on the planet proactively support the crypto space. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's going to get bigger and larger. We know we want more trust in our industries. We know we want more transparency in our industries. We know that we are supporting problems or solutions. And up until now, for me, I don't feel like I've had enough choice. I feel like I still drop into the big supermarkets that I know aren't great. I believe I'm still buying products and services that aren't supporting solutions. So I feel whether this is something you understand right now or not, the question to you is, are you willing to learn more? Lean in. And the ways to do that is get a free account, lean in and ask more questions, connect in with us, connect in with us, and start to open yourself up to the possibility of what we're here to create. And I'll wrap this up with, and I'm going to hang around for some Q&A. I know, Millie, you've got things to do, and if you're willing to stay around, great. If not, that's cool. I'm going to have a lot more questions. This is the start of what I'm, like the Connect culture community growing, linking arms with people. I imagine a call next time where everybody brings a friend to this call. And just like Facebook, I remember when it was super weird. And now it's super weird to not be on Facebook, so we can turn the economy in this space around super quick. It just takes people power. And this is what we talk about. It doesn't take just your money. It takes people power, and your word of mouth is the most positive, potent weapon right now. So this is the encouragement, and this is the call out is, however you got to this call, dive deeper, request to be more involved, reach out. You're going to be getting emails. So those of you who have signed up for this call, you're going to be getting spammed to the eyeballs by me and my team with emails of how to get more involved, how to buy bracelets for Christmas, how to buy NFTs through the Give blockchain for Christmas presents, how to buy into the grow space. We'll give you free tokens, create a wallet. There's nothing here we're asking of you apart from your heart, soul, passion, and your full body yes to start looking into something new. Miller, hey, you're a busy man. Have a great time in Vegas. I'll be there with you in spirit this time round, but I'm here on the ground in Australia with boots on, doing the hard yards, filling up that room next time, and building us a community here that we can all link arms globally. So
hey, thanks for having me, Ange. Appreciate you so much. Love you. Thank you.
Oh, pleasure. Guys, that is going to end our call, and I am going to hang around if anyone's got any questions. I'm going to bring it onto gallery view. If anyone's got any questions, I'd love to hear it. This is going out as a recording. We'll keep it short and sweet, and if there's no questions, I'll exit, download the recording, and start sending it out to everybody who's registered. But who's got a question? Just bring yourself off mute.
Hey, Ange.
Yes.
Speak. Can you share with everyone how, if this has hit their heart and this is, they want to find out how to get involved? I know we've talked about, open a wallet, et cetera. Can you just maybe let everyone know how they get in contact with you or the person that brought them on this call, et cetera?
Yeah. So everyone to be on this call had to have received an email, and you're going to get in your email from me a link to a Facebook group. And my request here is whoever invited you onto this call, go back to that person and they'll be able to support you. There was nearly 200 people registered now for this call because they know they needed to register to get the replay. I'm not going to be able to handle 200 inquiries. So if Lisa, if Vicky, if, Amy and Steve, whoever invited you onto this call, I know there are people in this community that have worked tirelessly. Gabs, Michelle, Lucy, I see so many faces that are getting this message out to so many people. Whoever invited you on, it would be of massive gratitude for me if you could reach out directly to that person and say, help me get involved, just to take a bit of the pressure off me. However, my commitment is, as a dedicated community member, I'm doing this full time at the moment, helping build this community. Super emotional and passionate about it. I do not want my daughter eating lab grown food. I do not want any more children being raped multiple times a day. So I'm doing whatever I can. I'm building a lot of wealth in this space. There are ways to build a lot of money. I've created well over $100,000 in the last 7 months by helping people become a part of this community. So if you're interested in wealth creation and this hits your soul, there's an opportunity for you to be involved financially and earn a lot of money in this space to help build this community. If you want to partner with these projects, That's what we're requesting most. We need boots on the ground. We need people physically and time-wise and word of mouth. If you've got networks and you can help people become aware of these projects, we want partners in these projects. If you want to buy tokens, if you're interested in getting involved in the crypto world, maybe you missed out on Bitcoin, maybe you see that going through the roof and you can see the power of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I think Trump just announced he's going to try and put an end to taxes on crypto. That's going to be a game changer for a lot of us financially. If you start to buy tokens, you can buy tokens super cheap in these projects right now. You could also buy nodes that create tokens daily. I liken it to buying the chicken that lays the egg that holds value, or just buying the eggs that hold value. And we can utilize these tokens in this ecosystem. So the answer to your question directly is check your emails over the next 24 hours. I have a team of VAs that are going to get emails out to you with links and things. I'm going to keep spamming you and educating you. Feel free to block my emails if you're not interested. I wish you well on your quest and your choices. If you do keep getting my emails, at some point when time feels aligned for you, I request that you reach out and get involved. I will do my best to direct you back to the person who introduced you to this space so you can be supported. It is a big space that we are getting educated about. And keep an eye out for extra calls. I'm going to have a call with Just Scott. I'm going to have a call with Just Will, Just Faith, Just Steve Miller. There's so many, we've got, I think, 14 projects up and running in this space right now. And when you start to understand the Connect ecosystem, we're looking at taking over Airbnb. We're looking at taking over Facebook. We're looking at taking over airlines, education systems. I imagine a world where, there's an education portal for children to learn about blockchain, cryptocurrency, impact projects, to go, instead of the school camp to Canberra to learn about our government. Oh my gosh, there's a whole nother call, right? I'm putting my hand up to create an education system where our kids can go to Ghana and work with Scotty and work with Faith in Peru and create charities that are helping the world. So look, that's a big space. This is early adoption. This is like Facebook, back in 2015. This is like Bitcoin 10 years ago. For those who see it. For those who don't, start marinating in it. This is a space where these tokens that we are creating through our nodes and purchasing have the potential to be worth millions of dollars. I look at, for instance, one of my nodes is currently generating 3,000 rewards a day. If those rewards go onto the big boy blockchain, big boy exchanges, and are worth 50 cents, $1, that's 3,000 US dollars a day that my node is generating. So if that's blowing your mind, I want you to ask the questions: how, explain, let me learn. But my request right now is that you get in contact with the person who invited you to this space, this community, that you link arms, that you open up a free account. There is no obligation. It's like 10, 15 minutes of your time. You open up a wallet, and we will give you the project of your choice. We will give you a bunch of rewards. Like, if the person who invited you doesn't, I will personally. If I can't, then Will or Scotty or Faith or somebody will give you a shit ton of rewards that could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to you. And it will start you seeing how you can be a part of this community. But guys, I could cry when I say we need all of you to have 5 or 10 friends right now to get involved in this space, to start making this come to life and be real. Like, it is going to happen with or without you. It will happen quicker with you, and we will have better choices on this planet for ourselves, our friends, our family, our children. And this is the planting acorns trees. You may never sit under it, but it will grow with or without you. We just need boots on the ground. We need your heart and soul in this. So thanks for the question, Vic. It was probably more than you expected. Yeah, true legacy. I know we're all here to create freedom and do something. This is a space that can really change lives for all of us. Any other questions? Great. Okay. I'll end it here unless anyone wants to do one last final shout out. Drop in the chat thread. What's your favorite project? I want to see this light up. Grow, grow, grow. Oh, Will will love it. Grow. If we held an event with these guys in Australia, who'd come? Yep, great. Woo! All right, it's on. I reckon March next year, March, April next year. We're going to have a massive space. We're going to fill it, and we're going to get these guys out to talk about this space. But yeah, Grow Australia.
Before you wrap it up, Ange, I just really want to acknowledge you, sweetheart. Thank you for creating this space, allowing us to bring people to, allowing us to educate people in this space, and really just to create the space of sharing what Connect United is really about. It's about the heart and the difference and the possibility that we can really take responsibility for what's going on in the world and stand up and really make a difference. So Ange, acknowledging you, sister, I love you. You know that. I am so grateful for being in locking arms and being on this journey for you, as I know a lot of people on this call are as well. So thank you. Beautiful work, sweetheart. Absolutely beautiful work.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks, guys. And thanks, thanks, Lisa. And I've got so many beautiful humans on this call that I wouldn't know if it wasn't for this space. And, I dream all the time, and I dream, Faith, Scott, Will, Miller, they're becoming my family. They're my closest friends. I'm meeting up with Faith in Bali. We're doing some cool stuff over there. Like, these guys are so approachable. I don't know if you guys are involved in other businesses, but these guys are so approachable. Faith's dad, multi-billionaire, Wright Thurston, look him up. He helped funded the documentary Sound of Freedom. Like, I can get him on a signal call. I call that dude and he takes my call. I mean, when he's not flat out, but they take my call. Where else can you get a billionaire that's funding human trafficking, rescue and rehabilitation on a call? This is the time to reach out and be a part of this family, this community. I was dreaming up with Faith that the Give blockchain buys some land here in Australia, and it's not to help homelessness, it's to create community of super wealthy humans that are project and purpose driven. Like, imagine luxury tiny homes on phenomenal property, somewhere gorgeous, where we as community can live, bring your caravan, hang out, raise our kids together, grow food together, dream up projects. And oh my gosh, most of us are black sheep in our families. What if we could create a new evolution of family, where we can go on, projects and missions together? And there's big dreams here. And this is the kind of space making it possible, because, this is the potential to create multi-millionaires. So, come on the journey with us, dream the dream with us. This is so possible. And I don't know I don't want to even call it a business, another community that is creating wealth at this capacity, and lifestyle and community and family. But I mean it when I say we need to create a cult, and I mean a culture of human beings that are willing to speak out and be like, yo, have you heard about Connect? Really? Why not? Let's make it so normal. So here's what I ask of you guys. And I don't know if I need to incentivize, give you more rewards, do something. I'll do whatever it takes, right? Whatever it takes. If you want calls with these guys to talk to your people, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. But start getting on their social medias. That's one way you can really support everybody. If you all went and liked and commented their Instagram every day, it hits the algorithms. It blows this space up. If you go and open a free account and a free wallet and let us transfer you some free crypto, it helps grow this space. If you start jumping in their websites and moving and grooving and buying bracelets and NFTs and things, it's really going to help blow this space. And this is my request. And the reason for this call is I don't want your money. I want your time and your heart and your energy. I want you to put your action where your words are. And if you are a person that's ever heard yourself say, I want to be a part of change, this is how you make the want a reality. So I'm going to leave it with that. I'm keen to see what you all do. I'm keen to see my messenger light up, reach out, and let's continue these conversations. Thank you all so much for your time. And I'm excited to see you all on the next call.